Welcome back to another episode of To the Moon. And on this episode, I have a very special friend, Erik. Erik, you are Erik Penuelas. You are amazing. I've watched your growth over, the last, I'd say like 8 months that you and I have had the opportunity to work together. And it's been phenomenal. It's been phenomenal because I've seen these ups and the down and then the massive ups and the success, and you've hit in your stride and it's phenomenal. But I'm fast forwarding too quickly here because I've already come to the end and there was so much that happened that got you to this amazing spot that you're in. So welcome, first of all. This show is all about you, and so we want to know a little bit about Erik. What makes you tick? What brought you to us? Let's start there, brother. Welcome.
Thank you, Jamila. I really appreciate you inviting me onto the show, and I really appreciate your mentorship over these past 8 months. It's been huge, man. So, first off, just want to express some gratitude to you and the organization.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. But you did the work. That's the thing, right? It's you've got to do the work. We can provide you the tools, the tool belt, the community, but it ultimately rests on your shoulders to take action and be successful. And you did that. And so congratulations to you.
Thank you. And that's, you were asking a little bit about what makes me tick. And, this lifestyle, I told you a little bit about how I've departed from the W-2 and now I'm full-time here. And you and I had a little heart-to-heart on one of our live coaching calls where I was discussing how there was that leap of faith moment. And you see it a lot in your position, Jamil, people taking those leaps of faith in their careers and in their lives. And so it was my time. I understood, this is my opportunity. I saw the lane and I took it. And I really appreciate being in an environment of extreme accountability where I am my own limiting factor. And I really appreciate how I've been able to eliminate variables in my life where I've been able, it's kind of confusing. What's holding me back? How can I progress forward in life further, faster? And right now, nothing's standing in my way. Yeah. And, you expressed, you did the work, Erik. And, Astro, this organization, Jamil, you didn't do the work. You just showed me the way. And that's exactly it. I appreciate y'all showing me the way, pointing me in that direction, and just saying, go for it, man.
It's so fun, right? When you're on the edge, and you can hear the voices saying, jump, jump, jump. And yeah, but you see no ground. In fact, all you see is clouds. All you see is mist, right? And fog and fear and limit and physics and gravity and all of the things that we automatically assume are gonna bring us crashing down to the ground. However, you take that leap of faith. It's a thing I've said. How do you accomplish anything in life? You put it in your head, you put it in your heart, and you take a step forward, right? And that's it. You never need to know what the next step is or what's going to illuminate beyond that, but you have to show that you're willing to take that step, right? You have to show that. You've got to do that. You'll none of us, I had no idea what was coming for me, but I knew that there was an opportunity, that there was a way, that there was a path there, and I took these steps and we're here, right? And so tell us about your life. Are you married, single? Where do you live? What's life like? Give us an idea of what it looks like when you wake up in the morning.
I have a beautiful life.
Yes.
A really, really nice life.
I honestly, that's the title of this one. I have a beautiful life. That's it. That's it. You said it. It's done. I have a beautiful life. Thank you for that.
I'm engaged. I have a beautiful, beautiful fiance. She's my business partner. You can check out my website, serodevelopments.com, learn about me and her, our background, she's from Carlsbad, kind of that SoCal, San Diego, blonde beauty, blue eyes.
Love
oh
it.
my God. We have a really cute little puppy. She's like our baby.
Okay. What kind of dog?
Dog Winry. She's a mutt. She's a rescue off the streets of Tijuana. And
wow, how cool is that? So I imagine some Chihuahua in her for sure. There has to be.
I thought so. I mean, she's a super mutt, so there's got to be somewhere in there. But
they have these
poodle, German Shepherd, just like all sorts of stuff. And
have you tested her?
Amazing. Sorry.
Have you had her genetically tested yet?
I have. The most of anything she has is like 13% of any one thing.
Okay. So she's legitimately just Heinz 57.
Yeah.
She's everything. I love it. I love it. So you guys have a puppy. Where are you guys residing and doing business?
I live in San Francisco, Alameda specifically. So Alameda is a little island off of the coast of Oakland, in between Oakland and San Francisco. And I have to take a tunnel every day if I want to get off it. So it's nice to live the island life, but also be in the heart of the San Francisco Bay Area, very cosmopolitan, lots of good concerts, good food. Oh my God. So I love the city, but sometimes it can be a little bit too much. So to be able to retreat and be on the beach while looking at Salesforce Tower is a huge blessing.
Amazing, man. It's you're making me feel like I need to get out of this desert and get over to where I didn't even realize that there was multiple islands like that over there. I've got to explore more of the coast out there for sure.
Super blessed, man. I wake up every day and just, I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
So how did you find this crazy niche of wholesale real estate? Because we've got this little sliver of real estate investing, and in my opinion, we're crazy people, right? Because we are prospecting, looking for value, and our job is to find value and or find potential and sell a piece of that potential for a fee. And that's truly what we do as wholesalers. We solve problems, we find potential, and we sell a piece of that potential, and we get a fee for it. How did you find this? Like, what brought you to wholesaling?
Honestly, Legos. That's the start of my career, man. Like
Legos.
I love Legos.
Let's go from there. What happened with Legos? Like, how did that get you here?
I wanted to be a Lego builder when I grew up, and decided civil engineering is like the closest thing to that. So got into that, graduated, and Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and I figured out that civil engineers don't build anything; they just draw things on paper.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I want to actually build stuff. So then I transitioned over to, this is going to be very
that's
windy.
Cool. I love windy roads, man. I love
it. I ended up getting into construction.
Makes sense. You're a builder. Your DNA says build, and so you're like, I don't want to draw, I want to build. So you're in construction. What are you doing? Are you demo, drywall, framing? What's the trade?
Everything. I was the construction project manager.
Cool.
So I was the guy out there with the iPad that has never swung a hammer in his life, but it was responsible for the entire $30 million project.
Love it.
It was very overwhelming.
How did you fall into that? Like, what was the process of getting that career?
I signed up, like I've worked for major general contractors, and they just bring on college graduates to be project engineers and project managers. And when you're the general contractor, you're responsible, you're the glue for all of the construction. And then you're sitting in the owner, architect, contractor meetings once a week. And in development, it's like three legs of a stool. You have the contractor, you got the owner, you got the designer, those three things. And those three legs of the stool got to be even. And so I did that for 3 years, and it just wasn't a long-term career path for me because I was W-2'd. I felt like I was being held back. I wasn't deciding what I was building. I wasn't deciding the type of impact I was making in my community necessarily. So I was like, okay, I love to build things, but I kind of want to decide what I'm going to be building. So I have amazing mentors like you and others, and development is the way to go. How do I do that? You just got to get deals under your belt. They don't care about school. They don't care about some master's degree. If you're a licensed professional engineer, Jamil, you know a lot of investors and buyers and developers. Do they care about your credentials?
I have a physiology degree. Like, you know what I mean? I was talking to my wife yesterday about the lac operon, which is the mechanism in our biology that metabolizes lactose. And the reason why majority of adults are lactose intolerant, and it's because of the functionality of the lac operon. And so she's sitting there looking at me like, that is the nerdiest thing I've ever heard you say. And B, why the heck do you know that? You are a real estate professional and you're talking to me about biology. And it's like, yeah, there's absolutely no correlation. There was zero ROI from my college degree or any of my credentials to where I am in life right now. It's a fact.
That's what brought me to wholesaling, man.
Love it.
How am I going to get deals under my belt? My company name on the HUD statement, on the settlement statements, making deals happen, working with sellers, working with buyers, working with contractors, actually making things happen in the marketplace, moving volume. And the only way to do that is to just get in there and start making deals happen. And wholesaling is a great entry point.
And it's interesting because I hear wholesaling be described as an entry point a lot, right? At the same time, I could say it not only is the entry point, but it's the point of control, right? If you really want to be in the mix, if you want to be the prettiest girl or guy at the party, have the deal.
That's
honestly,
right.
Have the deal. Everybody wants to talk to the person that has the deal, right? That's what makes you the prom king, the prom queen. Like you've got the deal, you've got the goods, you've got the thing we need. We want to add value, we want to create, but we need material, raw material to create. And in wholesale, we get the opportunity to create or have control of the raw materials that creators need to build on. And I love that. I love that that you saw that as the mechanism to get you from out of just project managing things that were not of interest to you, but moving into getting in the mix of the entire process and getting into the deals and getting into the the action. And that's amazing. And so how do you're in wholesaling now? Did you quit your W-2 job right away? What did that look like? How did you do that? Did you have a full-time job and then wholesale? Did you wholesale part-time and have a part-time job? Did you have a full-time job and part-time wholesale? What was the story?
Yeah, so I've been doing real estate investing for about 4 years. And so I've invested a lot of money into educational products. Like I basically a master's degree worth of time and money into like teaching myself how to be the best real estate investor possible. And your course, the Astro Flipping course, like that's what really took me to the next level, because another educational community I was in was very comprehensive and it taught me about wholesaling, but it wasn't that deep dive. It was too comprehensive. And the Astro Flipping, like I didn't know what I was doing until I got into Astro Flipping. Like that, like took it to the next level. So I was W-2'd for a long time, and I built some amazing things. Like I loved what I built. I just didn't like my day-to-day duties,
right?
And how I was contributing to this beautiful building. I wanted to contribute in a different way, in more of that development capacity. And so, yeah, just did it on the side, and then coronavirus happened, and then I worked for one of the top 15 biggest national GCs in the country. Just so many employees. So they just did a knee-jerk layoff of like tons of their junior people. And so instead of taking the opportunity to go work for like the next step in that career ladder, go get the title bump, go to another company, get the salary boost, I turned it down. I was like, I'm not going to go that direction. I'm going to just go all in on my wholesaling and work to make this my full time, even though it's hard. And I think this is what's going to make me most happy.
And are you happy?
I am happy. I'm every single day, I'm working toward, it doesn't happen overnight, like happiness doesn't come from my external environment as much as I can describe how beautiful my life is. Internally, I work every single day to, find that happiness and let it radiate outward from the inside. And like, I think I could be happier, honestly. And I'm working, that's kind of like one of the things I'm working on in life is like, how can I have more gratitude and, just be happier. I meditated before this. I think you were talking with another Astro student, and he was like, "Hey, like, what should I do like to prepare for a chat with you, Jamil?" And you're like, "Man, just meditate for like 10 minutes."
It's real. It's true. People laugh at me. Some people laugh at me. They're like, bro, you're extra, with all of that. But I truly believe that your exterior, what you see outside in your life, the people, the house, the life, the job, all of it, the relationships is all a product of what's happening in here and what's happening in here. 100%. I learned through some very interesting realizations that we're connected to everything and everybody, and any experience you want, you can draw to you by finding a resonance within you that'll match, and that happens through elevating our vibe, elevating our situation, elevating the way we feel, elevating the way we think. And it's Astro Flipping, and it's funny. It's not just real estate. It's not, right? It's a lifestyle. It's a way to be. And a lot of what we do in the program, the foundation of the program is where your heart and where your mind is at. And I love that you talk about that, because when I do this show, sometimes we don't get an opportunity to really dive into it. But you brought it up, and I'd like to talk about that. So let's expand on that aspect of it. Like what do you feel about that, and how has that affected your life?
So I think, as far as, how wholesaling, my internal environment and how that, connects to the outside world and my business transactions, that's on my mind daily. And you were talking a little bit about how, we are the hottest person in the room at prom with the control, in wholesaling. And it's like, well, how do you get that control? That's the $1 million question. How do we gain that control? And that's something that really attracted me to your mentorship, Jamil, is that control is not acquired through a scarcity mindset. And that's so often taught to us by different media sources, movies, films, educational environments like in school. And it's like, how can we just be go-givers, add value, and then next thing you know, I'm getting this call and a deal is falling on my lap? Well, that's what's called an acausal connection. One did not cause the other, but they were related. Right. And that's a Jungian psychological term, acausal connection. It's really interesting to get into, these things that have been witnessed empirically. There's lots of scientists in Silicon Valley that left Apple, they left Tesla, they became multi-millionaires, and now they're just so interested in learning about, this topic specifically and how we can understand it better so that everyone can have a great life, just like why can't we all just be happy and just create a world of abundance? And I think that's something that, that's how we really gain that control within wholesaling, is like build those relationships, understand those people's needs, just look to add value and connect with them, understand their life, and be high energy. What do you think, Jamil?
I mean, I love that, Erik. I love where your head is with this and where your heart is with this, because it's truly how I live, right? I remember my journey and looking at it from, I almost got emotional while you were talking, because I had this flashback in my mind of early me sitting there wanting what my life looks like right now, right? And wanting the success and wanting to be able to have impact and wanting to be able to do these things and be the prettiest girl or guy at prom, right? But meanwhile, and I'm going to share this transparently, I was not in that place. I was drinking every day. I would have a hangover in the morning. I didn't feel good about myself. I was terribly overweight. My gorgeous wife was probably frustrated with me. We didn't have financial resources. It was a mess. And I began with starting with some meditation. I began with some granular visualization. I began with saying, look, I don't have the power to fix me, but I believe that I can find that power within myself. Right now, all I need to do is just focus on some stillness so that I can figure out what's going on. And it was strange, because all the negativity, all the things that were bothering me, all the things that were hindering my life, the limitations, they started to fall off. And you fast forward some years, and exactly what I was looking for, I have, and more. And it didn't go the direction or the path that I had thought it might, because, we're human beings and we want control and we want to know what's the next step and what's the next door and what's going to come around the corner. And you never know that. You never know what's coming around the corner. I do truly believe that what's coming around the corner, whether it be a positive or a negative experience for you in the moment, is for your benefit. Always. And you have to be able to find why that is what it is, and how it's affecting your life, and what you need to learn from, or how you can gain from whatever that experience is. And so I'm 100% believer in that. It's what I preach. It's how I live. And I appreciate the fact that we're on the same wavelength with that.
Yeah. And it is, it's heady, we're having a very intellectual conversation, and it's important to be able to, ground some of these ideas. And, we're just making things happen. And all that we can do as business people is just find what works for us. And, I think that there's a common theme when you listen to a lot of very successful entrepreneurs, that mindset and figuring out what's going on inside is really important, to finding success. And week 1 of the Astro course, that it's all mindset, and it's so important. And it feels like it's a distraction almost. It's like, what does this got to do with wholesaling? Well, everything. It's got everything to do with wholesaling.
It does. It does. So let's talk about wholesaling now, because we've gone down a beautiful path here on a beautiful podcast in your beautiful life. And let's get down to the deals. What does it look like for you in the program? How is it transpired into being able to, help you pay bills and afford the wedding that's probably coming around the corner?
It's going great, man. I have a deal right now in Westminster, Colorado. I'm moving. I've been about 90% focused on my bandwidth in Colorado, and I've been making about 10K a month over there. I'm kind of like needing to, like, where I'm at in my maturity within wholesaling is getting an understanding of, like, basically doing the outreach consistently and tracking that daily outreach. That's something I'm struggling with right now. Because I get a deal and I'm just working on, like, dispositioning that one deal too much, and it pulls away from my daily KPIs. And that's what drives my revenue, is those daily KPIs, the daily outreach, 100 Facebook messages, 200 calls to realtors, 10 conversations with wholesale, like, just do that every single day. That's the most important thing. And then disposition your stuff too. Don't forget, it's a lot to work on. And that's something I'm focusing on within my business. And I'm finding success. I got this deal, like I said, in Westminster. It's on a golf course. Had it locked up at like $799, and then it wasn't moving after like a week. So I went back to the seller. I'm like, hey man, like, he knew I was wholesaling it. We need to find some more traction in the marketplace. It's evident people don't want it. So we dropped the price $15K, changes the deal, then negotiated seller financing. Now people are pretty interested in it. So I got a buyer going out there at like 4:30 today, and he's going to walk with the seller and hopefully make this transaction go through. He really needs to sell this thing. The property is going in toward foreclosure, okay. So it's going to be really bad for his credit. So he's really leaning on me, like, please, Erik, get this thing closed. We need a buyer. And so it feels great, to be of service to someone who really needs it. We have a good relationship. He understands very transparently what I'm marketing it at. I only have 10K built into this deal. He feels comfortable with that. And, the buyers are pretty interested because Denver's hot, and it is hard to find a deal in that Denver metro. So, Westminster, it's not typically where my buyers prefer for $1 million ARV, but it's so scarce right now, and this thing's going to hit the market right at the beginning of summer with a 3 to 4 month timeline on the rehab. So I think it's a deal. I think it's going to move, and that's what I'm going to be excited to find out today, if I can lock up a buyer on it.
Beautiful, amazing. So we're near the end of our time, and I want for you to give some people some advice, because you're such a high level guy, and the way that you think and move and operate and do business is tremendous. What advice would you give to somebody to have a beautiful life?
I would definitely, we touched on it a lot, but that your internal environment, like, just understand that, like, your happiness comes from the inside, and like, like, as much as you want to, like, find happiness, like, externally, it's not going to really happen. And like, sometimes we're born at a disadvantage because of our childhoods, and not everyone comes from great home lives. And so, like, take the time to understand, like, how your past is affecting your present, and like, don't dwell there, but like, recognize that, like, you might have like certain like defenses and like coping mechanisms and stuff that are obsolete for where you're at in the present day. And you just picked up those defenses in the past because they helped you, they served you in the past, but they don't serve you now. Actually, they're hurting you. And so, like, try and figure out, that behavior that you don't really like, is that from the past? Was that smart for me to have that defense in the past? And like, is it safe for me to let it go now? is like a really huge step toward
Mm.
just being more in the present and just being happier in the present.
Man, that was dope, bro. That was real, legit.
Yeah.
Erik,
Yeah.
thank you so much, man. How can people get a hold of you?
www.developments.com, or my name on Facebook, Erik Penuelas. And I'll see you at the mastermind, Jamil.
Yeah, I'm excited to see you here, hang out in person for the weekend. It's going to be dope. I appreciate you so much for taking the time out of your day to do this, Erik. We love you, man. And we'll see you on the moon.
All right. God bless. Thank you.